All right, well, I am back, and this is just a really quick little update. I had every intention on updating daily or every other day, and that very quickly got to be a bit of a task and life. Um, yeah, I've recorded probably 7 or 8 videos in the last couple weeks, but just never went through trying to edit and upload. So we're not even editing. This is going on straight like it is. I just got home and I realized it is day 25. And so we are 1/3 of the way through our 75-day challenge. Now, as far as how that's going, it's just being honest, like I'm still working towards a better me, but there's definitely things in there that I have struggled with. One of the main ones being the waking up at 5:55. I get up at 6 something majority of the time, like 6:30, 6:45, something like that. I don't seem to have an issue with that, but that 5:55, just something about it has been very, very challenging for me to convince myself to get out of the bed. So that is something that definitely still needs improvement, but so there's always more goals that we could set. As far as my dieting, I have definitely stuck to that majority of the time. We've had to navigate birthdays, we've had to navigate events, we've had to navigate quite a few things now, and I feel like overall everything is going great. Still listening to audiobooks, still doing some type of exercise every day. So, I feel like for the most part that has gone very well. The main thing that I feel like we have been struggling with is that getting up early and getting our day started. I've been drinking a lot of water, and I've still been hitting a gallon on a majority of the days. But for an example, like today is a Saturday, and I have not drank a gallon of water today. I may have hit a half a gallon, but I'm still drinking a lot of water. So, still improvement. Um, Now, I just want to throw out here right quick the measurements and the differences that I've noticed in the first 25 days because I want to keep this short and sweet. And then I need to kind of give you a little PSA about something. All right, so day 25, I am down 11.4 ounces because I started at 221.8, and as of this morning, I was at 210.4. So 11.4 ounces, or 11.4 pounds, not 11 ounces, 11.4 pounds down in 25 days. Y'all, that is amazing. I have noticed that over the last week and a half, there seemed to be some stalling, but I have an explanation for that, and we will get into that in a second. I want to jump into the measurements because honestly, I feel better, and I could tell that my clothes were fitting slightly different, but in my head I'm like, it's probably like just a wee little bit. Not quite. I was actually very, very shocked by my measurements. So, of everything that I posted, I think it was my day 2 video, I'm down 1/4 of an inch around my neck, which, that's not a lot, but hey, it's still a loss. 2 inches around my chest, 2.5 inches around my waist. My left thigh, I'm down 1.25 inches. My right thigh, I'm down 1/4 of an inch. But around my belly, so this is around my belly button area where I have that mom apron belly and all that. 4.5 inches down. That is amazing. So almost just shy of 11.5 pounds and 4.5 inches down around my belly. So it's not just in my head. There's an actual physical proof that I am making progress, and that feels really, really good. And this is the first time that I've measured since I took my starting measurements. So that was really cool to see that drop. Okay, so I do need to make this, and this is probably going to get used against me because my husband's probably going to save this video forever and ever, amen, because I have to admit publicly he was correct about something. I started this off using an app to kind of calculate what my calories and macros should have been, and it was saying around 1400, and so that's what I started. First 2 weeks on the diet, 1400 calories, was sticking to it, quite hungry at times, but it wasn't unmanageable. And then as I was tracking in the app my progress and I was starting to drop weight, the app auto recalculates. It just auto adjusts. So it started dropping my calories, and it dropped almost another 100 calories. So now I was like just over 1,300 calories, and I was like, wow, I already felt like I was, struggling to find good round balanced meals that fit into the calorie budget that I had already, and so I found myself kind of like skipping either majority of my lunch or just trying to make the teeniest tiniest portions of stuff just so that I wasn't going over that calorie budget. And then we had a birthday come around, and during that birthday I drank. And I've noticed that alcohol definitely leads to inflammation and water retention, a lot of water retention. So I noticed my weight went up about 4 or 5 pounds, something like that, like overnight. And then it took me 2 or 3 days to actually get that to kind of level back out. And in that time, I'm making sure that I'm hitting my calorie budget. I'm doing what I need to be doing. I'm walking, I'm exercising, I'm doing what I need to do so that I can start seeing that progress again. Because, the alcohol and everything had caused that fluctuation, and I didn't like seeing the scale go in the wrong direction. So I felt like crap. I felt awful. And finally, one night, this has been probably 4 nights ago now, my husband, he came up to me and he was like, I love you, and I don't want you to be upset or get your feelings hurt, but respectfully, you look like crap. And he's like, and I can tell you don't feel good either. And he was like, you have no color, and you have no energy. And he was like, your mood's off. He was like, everything about this situation does not seem like it's healthy. And he was like, so I really think that you need to consider bumping your calorie budget up a little bit, because what you're doing right now is not going to be sustainable. And what you're doing right now, you can tell your body is just not reacting well to it. And I'm like, I felt like you're on a diet. You try to, it's going to be tough, so you just try to push through. So that night, he was like, if I can make you a protein shake, will you take and drink that protein shake tonight? So I agreed, and he was not wrong at all. I went ahead after that and I bumped my calorie budget up to 1,500, and then we recalculated in the app to where instead of me trying to lose 2 pounds per week, we bumped it down to 1.5 pounds a week. And then it bumped my calorie budget up even further to, I think, 1,560. And that was my new budget. So I was able to add in roughly 200 additional calories, which made all the difference in the world. I noticed immediately that my energy went back up. I just started feeling a lot better. I wasn't just completely wiped out. I mean, he said that he could notice a difference with my mood, and then also noticed that the scale started moving again, where it was like starting to try to stall. The scale started moving again, and just in the last 4 days since we made that adjustment to actually increase my calories, I've dropped 1.5 pounds. So, sometimes you just have to listen to your body, and I wasn't, and it took somebody from the outside having to call me on my BS to finally get me to make that adjustment. But with that being said, listen to your body and don't think that the less calories the better, because it doesn't always work like that. And clearly my body was screaming for help. So anyway, this is the update. It's at 10 minutes. I'm done. I am going to sign off here, and I will check back in at some point, and hopefully the near future. Hopefully it won't be the next 25 days, but I'll try to pop in way sooner. But